Welcome to game one of a best of three series in the Mastapiece Theatre, which is a 1v1 tournament admin by 4 people, including myself, for the Discord server of the Viper. In this game, we have KiMOsaBE in the blue, top of the map, playing as the Vikings, and in the bottom of the map, in the green, we have Sir Chris playing as the Franks. This game was played in the demo division of the Mastapiece Theatre, so it's the middle tier. Middle tier of 8. Both these players are roughly 1300 to 1400 elo. So should this game this series should be a very close one, because these were the 2 closest seeded players in their league. Sound does sound fine, but I don't know if your keyboard is louder than now than it is before. I can just move it back then. The reason for that would be because it's behind my keyboard instead of in front of it like it normally is. Both players going through their starting builds. Looking at the maps before I look at the civs, KiMOsaBE has a very forward gold and a very forward second stone. The rest of his map looks pretty walled off. I think those are the only main issues with his map. Sir Chris, however, all of his resources are back, but they're very spread out. Like, this is going to be hard to defend with this hill here later on. This is going to be hard to defend with this hill, plus all of this being really open later on. He could wall to here, but I don't think he'll see it as worth it. Especially seeing as this is also very open. Could probably expect to see him try to wall like up here and around. That elephant sounded like a dragon from Skyrim. Was like a dragon. Yeah. Let's look at the Vikings, shall we? They're an okay 1v1 civ. They're predominantly used for water maps though, which is why I use. And the reason being for all these water map bonuses. This isn't a water map, however. Actually, it's been all the Arabias that I've casted so far, I think, have been pretty dry, as it should be. Viking infantry get extra HP as the game goes along. Their berserker is a fast infantry that regenerates health over time, and then that's buffed when berserker gang is researched. And they also get chieftains, which with it infantry deal bonus damage to cavalry. That can be very important later on against Franks, who is a predominantly cavalry civ. It's also good to note that wheelbarrow and handcart are free, so they get a really strong boost in the beginning of feudal and castle edge. Look at the Franks now. Their castles are cheaper, cavalry are more tankier. Their farm upgrades are free, and their forages work faster. Overall, they're very, very strong scouts into knights civilization. That's what you can expect them to do, at least. I have seen players in this tournament so far go for the throwing axeman approach, but it's not very common. Oh yeah, and their stables work faster when chivalry is researched. So Chris electing to take the deer on the side instead of push it in. KiMOsaBE choosing not to do that. Fast forward a little bit through the rest of Dark Age. KiMOsaBE walling now. Or starting to wall. He's also making militia, so he's looking to do some form of man-at-arms aggression, which is common to see with Vikings. Coming forward now with those militia, researching man-at-arms straight away. Stable being dropped by Sir Chris. And a spearman coming out. Maybe he was expecting some kind of scout play. It does, from what I can tell, it looks like Sir Chris lost his scout, which isn't ideal. I can't see it on the map at least. Man-at-arms just being annoying, taking Sir Chris off berries. It's also got quite a few idle villagers to the top. Going to take some stone. I don't quite understand why. Maybe he does want to go into throwing axemen. It would make sense to go throwing axemen against Vikings if they commit to berserks and full infantry and don't go for a crossbow approach. Sir Chris looking to punch a hole in the wall of the blue player, but it's being walled behind. Couple villages going down, probably. Pathing. Thanks, dear. That man-at-arms will go down there. The villager stays safe. Another man-at-arms going down. I think these men-at-arms became worth it, though. Idled the foraging. He lost his scout as well. This man-at-arms will go down, causing a little bit more idle time. I think it was worth it. Got a villager kill. He'll be happy with that. Sending some villagers to gold now. Spearman out for KiMOsaBE. Just pushing those scouts away from that area. Chris will see the ranges that the blue player has dropped, and we'll see that there's something inside it. So it looks like KiMOsaBE is opting to go for the crossbow approach later on. Just going forward with those archers now. He doesn't have the blacksmith for fletching, from what I can tell. Scout's still trying to find a way in. They will be pushed away by that spearman though. So Chris losing a scout on the front, trying to kill that spearman. KiMOsaBE also bringing in a raid. He's going to harass the woodline. I think that tower will go up though, because these archers don't have fletching. He's just pushed. Okay, a villager will go down because he pushed the archers with a weak one. Tower's up. Tower's also up on the gold. So that'll be why he went to stone. A much larger number of archers now coming forward. He does have fletching now. He's probably going to lose a couple archers here. But he should regroup with his larger army and be able to micro these down. Second stable coming up for the green player, who is also up to Castle Edge. Researching fletching for himself, probably because he's building a bunch of towers. Now I've noticed that Sir Chris hasn't decided to wall yet. Maybe he feels like he can't with his map. That scout going down as well. He's going to find another tower over here. Chip away at the HP of that villager. He's managed to deny the second stable coming up as well, which you'll be very happy with. Blue player's also up to Castle Edge now. I imagine we are definitely going to see a crossbow Vikings game. You'll probably add in some pikemen as well, and research not chivalry. What's it called? Chieftains when it comes in, when he gets a castle up. Chris also, don't forget to, yeah. I believe I can just do that there, can't I? Yeah, I can. Archer going down, not ideal. Especially with crossbow about to come in. Fort Siege Workshop being dropped, which I like to see. He's being a little bit more aggressive. Is there a way to... No, there isn't. Now, I don't think Chris sees that. No, he doesn't. So this could be a surprise if he doesn't send something out here by luck to scout. Also dropping a range forward. There is also a mangonel coming out for Chris though. He's dropped a siege workshop of his own, but that will be in response to the crossbows, not in response to the siege workshop up here, because he doesn't see it. He's rushing up a house. He's temporarily housed. Knight's going forward, but I think that's a bit they'll be a bit out of position with this mangonel and this army here. And this forward base. KiMOsaBE chipping away at this tower. Also denying this TC. Doesn't have ballistics yet, but I imagine he will be looking to get that. I think he did research thumb ring though. Oh, mangonel going down on the front. It's good hit for Chris. KiMOsaBE not really reacting. Probably reacting over here in when Sir Chris appeared with his mangonel. I don't think that house goes down. No, it doesn't. These knights being shot down. Not ideal. He is making it a replacement mangonel. KiMOsaBE with the villager lead. Sir Chris still trying to get onto his second town centre. He did have his second knight over here. He's in with the knights. There was a hole that KiMOsaBE does the toggle on the left chat from... It is back to show KD. Because I selected, I told it to do that. Just every now and then I'll select the resource tab. Anyway, yeah, the knights coming in, but they're not really doing too much damage. Just causing a little bit of idle time, killing 2 villagers. And a few crossbows. He will see this hole and he probably will patch that up. He forgot to patch that up before when he ran his villagers out. Another mangonel coming forward for Chris. Taking an unlucky shot against the spearmen. They will both die to the knights. Also losing a villager on the front. There is a mangonel about to pop out for... Ah. Good reaction. I do think Sir Chris has the advantage when it comes to... Yes, German showdown. They are Rex. Sir Chris has having the advantage when it comes to the mangonel war. This castle coming down on the front, looking to secure this area. There is a crossbow being made at that archery range, but I don't think that matters too much. Yeah, it's just running back. KiMOsaBE looking to regroup. This villager is still forward though, so if Sir Chris isn't careful and make sure everything is gone, could see this being a nuisance by building a couple stables back here. No worries, guys. I have fun streaming. That's what this tournament's all about. KiMOsaBE chucking up a 4th town centre. He's looking to get even further ahead in economy. Sir Chris will be happy that he managed to secure this area. Alleviate some of the pressure. He does also have the Viking eco behind all this. You're exactly right, Azu. He has an insane amount of wood. KiMOsaBE, that is. Oh. If Green player had ballistics, which I wouldn't expect him to get in the first place, And that crossbow would be dead, just passing. There's a lot of crossbows just sitting on the front for KiMOsaBE. He could be trying to come around this side and picking off villagers. But he's electing not to. Blue player now getting a few relics. Are you now getting thumb ring? He's researching heavy plow. I didn't see thumb ring coming. I thought he already had it because he was quite accurate when he was shooting at villagers over here. Oh yeah, I see. Chris coming in with a raid. He will snipe that monk, lose a knight in the process. That lion just being annoying. Villager building that house will go down. Castle coming, a defensive castle coming up from KiMOsaBE. Idling all of this, but this massed crossbows will easily deal with the 4 or so knights that were around. That Vululu scared you. Yes. As it should. The Vululu is a frightening sound. Both players going up to Imperial Age at almost exactly the same time. More ranges being chucked down for the Viking player. Second castle has been thrown up as well. Third stable on the way. Another man can now come out. Now, if... Chris checking up a range as well, so he's looking to add in some skirmishes to his army. Now, if Chris can mass up enough of those knights, he can win easy against crossbows. Especially with the mangonels and skirmishes coming out as well. Both players up. KiMOsaBE has 118 villages though, in comparison to Chris's 88. And he's had that advantage for quite some time now. That's a lot of arms, yes. 59 to be exact. I think KiMOsaBE has quite a huge advantage at the moment, actually. He's also expanding forwards, which I like to see with all of his production buildings. What's that in the corner? Oh, that's just a housing complex. There was a relatively low HP villager here that came forward. But she obviously has died. Ram's coming out, and capped ram has been researched. So he's looking to ram push down these castles. Cavalier has been researched. I wonder if he tries to go Paladin. I don't think he has the economy for it. Yeah, no, he doesn't. All those mangonels dying to the heaps of old age. Naturally, yeah, she probably did die of old age. Definitely wasn't a Green Knight. I don't agree on their names. Neither, really. Not against Cavalier, Mangonels, and Skirms. Can't really defend them. I think he will realise. Siege Ram, however. But I do think it was a waste of resources. He is making troops now. I think he's realised. He's just... but he's pop capped. So he's not going to have them out for a while. I heard villages being deleted. Which is actually the right decision. I would say. Just to give that population room to get those trebuchets out. Cavalier coming in on the front. I don't think he massed quite enough up yet to be able to take that fight. I think when he needs a few more skirmishes in behind, and then he can definitely take that fight. Or at least feel more confident about taking that fight. I do think he could have actually won that, assuming he out micros, but then you're relying on DE night pathing. So this ram just hitting nothing, but still doing damage. Trebuchet's now set up and chipping away at this castle. It will go down. It's a good mangonel shot, that one. Green going for raid. Oh yeah. Green's raiding in the top of the map and just right and look at that quick wall. You will not come in my base. Except he is, because he's at the top. This hole still hasn't been patched. This Cavalier dying on the front. I don't think... Well, I don't know if sending this army forward was the right decision. There is a defensive castle being built here. I don't think Sir Chris sees it, though. Meanwhile, blue player pushing forward against Chris. I think if this... Wow, that is a lot of trebuchets. I think KiMOsaBE has a bit too much of an advantage. His eco is idle, but I think he has just too much military. He needs the pop space as well. Yeah, if anything, this is just helping the blue player. He's killing the TCs. It's 193 population to 127 though. And Chris taps out in game 1, calling GG. Quite a strong, a very strong game from KiMOsaBE. I really did like the fort, even though it was pushed away. I do think it came down to how much production KiMOsaBE had, and he was able to keep that up with the amount of villages he had. He did have the Viking economy to back it up as well. Even though Chris was able to raid, I don't think it was early enough. I think he needed to raid a little bit earlier. Plus, he was losing all his Cavalier. I'll update that scoreboard. That is 1-0 in favor of KiMOsaBE. Chris having the food eco advantage, but he didn't have the rest of the economy to back up everything he needed to take on the. This is the demo division Deagle. Yeah, you can see here that the blue player just had quite an advantage for the majority of the game. And I hope to see a Vittoria. Alright, chuck you to that screen while I get the next one ready. Not going to spend too long getting it ready, just a matter of it loading. Alright, so the home map for Sir Chris, I think, was Golden Swamp. Yes, it was. So that's the map we're going to see next. Welcome to Game 2, everyone. This is Game 2 of a best of 3 series in Round 1 of the Mastapiece Theatre. In this game, top of the map, in the blue, we've got KiMOsaBE. He'll be playing as the Mayans. And at the bottom of the map, in the yellow this time, we have Sir Chris, who is playing as the Persians on Golden Swamp. Mayans, Persians. I prefer Persians in this in this matchup. Deagle saying, I changed my mind, I want a demo ship. We all want the perfect demo ship, don't we? It is demo division after all. Golden Swamp. Talking about the map a little more. You start with a little bit less gold around your town centre. That's because all of the majority of the rest of the gold on the map is in the centre. Centre control is key on this map if it ends up going later on in the game. You will often see players docking to get a little bit of a fish eco going early. I expect, however, the water control to go in the way of the Persian player, as Persians is just simply the better water civ. I think Persians is probably the best pick for this map, and we'll see that a lot more throughout the rest of the tournament. That and Vikings. Both players going through their starting builds. Let's look at the civs, shall we? While they go through the Dark Age. Mayans, they start with an extra villager, but minus 50 food. That's just how much a villager costs. Their resources last 50% longer, and their archers cost less as the game goes on. The unique text obsidian arrows allow their foot archers, except for their plumed archer, to benefit from an extra 6 attack versus buildings. This can be very strong later on. Your crossbowmen basically just become siege units that are weak to skirmishes. and then El Dorado, which gives the Eagle Warriors extra hit points, and their walls cost less. Against Persians, I would expect to see more of an Eagle Halberdier play instead of an Arbalest Halberdier play. Although we could still see. I'm baffled by my knowledge. I never realized mines have minus 50%. Minus 50 food in game. Yeah, no, they do. They have to, otherwise it's too much of an advantage. It's the same with Chinese. They lose all their food at the start of the game because they get 3 extra villages. We could still see an Arbalest play though from the player in the blue trunks. KiMOsaBE. Oh, not KiMOsaBE. So Chris, his Civ. Persians. Now, I don't think I've seen a Persian game so far this tournament. On the contrary to the Mayans, they start with an extra 50 food and wood. Their town centre and docks have double the HP, and the work rate gets faster as the game goes on, starting in Feudal Age. Now, they have recently been nerfed. That faster work rate used to start in Dark Age, which was why they were considered probably the strongest, second to only the Chinese for 1v1 Arabia. But they've been slightly nerfed. The unique text Commander Run. Now that's very interesting. Persians, they don't get access to the Arbalest, but their crossbowmen doesn't cost gold. The gold cost is replaced by wood. That makes the Persian crossbowmen really cheap. If only they were called Douche Division. Yeah, now that's something I'll talk about soon. And their war elephant, their other technology makes their war elephants faster. I don't think we'll see war elephants in this game. With team bonus, knights have extra attack, extra bonus damage versus archers. Now, knights are already very strong against the archer line, so. Now that douche division thing that Deagle's talking about in chat that you can see there, he's referring to the fact that not common, I wouldn't say common, but a meme strategy that was, I think, popularized by Rubenstock during the Escape Champions League, where when you play Persians, you get some form of an eco behind you, and then you delete your town centre. You may be thinking, why on earth would I ever want to delete my town centre? Well, you see, if you place your town in Dark Age, you can build another town centre if you delete your town centre. So sometimes people who play as the Persians think, well, why not just place my town centre right next to my opponent with my double HP town centre and just destroy his? And you do sometimes see players doing that, but I don't think we'll see it in this game. I think it'll be pretty standard game so far at this level. I wouldn't be surprised to see it tried though at some point during this tournament. Both players electing to place a dock instead of milling some of the fish. Some people do that. If my opponent ever picks Golden Swamp on this map, I now have a strat. Deagle, if I ever see a series that you've played, thanks for the follow, by the way. Trolls chap. Did I say that right? I hope I did. I'm sorry if I misspoke. If I ever see you with a series with Golden Swamp, I'm casting it. I want to see that happen. Persian's dropping down a barracks now. It's before he's hit clicked feudal age. I almost said imperial age. Yes, we're gonna go from dark age to imperial age. In one click. We could see a little bit of man-at-arms aggression. I wouldn't expect it though. I'd more so expect the Persian player to drop a stable instead. They do also have the option to go archers though. So Chris with 3 fishing ships in comparison to KiMOsaBE's 4. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I'm a professional, I promise. Probably won 1 out of 10 games on Golden Swamp. Golden Swamp was my favorite map to play when it was in the ranked pool. Oh boy, Blue have 3 more vills. Yeah, I think Blue player went up to feudal later though, so you can kind of expect that. Both players are also starting to wall. It could also be fishing ships, yeah. But I mean they're kind of dying to the scout. He did make a 5th fishing ship. Is KiMOsaBE realized? I don't think he has he? Yeah, there you go. That one still, there you go. It is common to see players just move their fishing ships to the middle of the fish, so they can't be hit by the scout. It's a little bit annoying, but he's getting quite a bit of damage in with his scout. Chris will be very, very happy with that. That's about the only thing happening at the moment, though. Chris up to castle edge, while KiMOsaBE is dropped in archery range. Looking to go for a little bit of fuel aggression. I would say I'm surprised that neither player is going for any water aggression. But does this count? I'm not sure if this counts as water aggression or just being a dick. Either way, it's well played by Chris. Spearman now coming in. If that scout is not water aggression, then I don't know what is. Fair enough. What it is annoying. And it is dealing a lot of damage to resources that were previously spent by KiMOsaBE. Last fishing ship will go down. Castle Age now coming in for the blue player. I do see a stable dropped for Chris. Is making knights. He does have... That's a demo raft. Maybe you Maybe we get our wish of seeing a demolition ship in demo division. The Great Wall of the Mines is coming up, but I think this knight will come in. I think it comes in at just the right time as well. Unless he chucks a gate here. Which he should have done after seeing that. I don't know if he could see it actually. I think it arced around. 2 villagers going down that were building the wall. I think Chris might find that one. Yeah, he will. No, never mind. He's running away. He went towards it. Probably didn't expect it. Yeah. Another villager going down. That's 3 villagers and 4 fishing ships down for KiMOsaBE. KD of 9-1 this early. I think this knight might die though. There's 2 more on this side. Yeah, it does. 5 fishing ships, that's right. I promise I can maths as well. I mean, if Chris is able to keep KiMOsaBE at his base, I don't think he even needed the demo ship in the first place, which is unfortunate. Because we'd all like to see a nice demo hit. More raiding coming in. Castle on the center island for the yellow player. Knights are unupgraded. Second barracks being chucked up by KiMOsaBE, looking to get more spearmen out. If blue player was paying attention, I think he could have doinked that knight to death. Quick wall's coming up. Well, yeah, no, they're coming up. For a second, I thought knights were going to run through here, but he managed to get them up. Well played, yeah. That's good micro. Pulling the oh, it was good micro. Pulling the extra the low HP knight away, but then it ended up running back. Might also lose that knight if he's not careful, which he will. Hello, Sir Chris. Nice to see you cut. I'm enjoying it so far. It has been an enjoyable series to watch, actually. No worries. It happens. It's fine. Sir Chris only waited until the first game is over because he knows the result. Another knight going down on the front. Sir Chris with the villager lead. You'd expect that after killing 3. And 5 fishing ships. He's chucking out a scout now. That could have been a misclick. Not sure if it was. Regardless, there is a scout coming out. He does have control of this center island momentarily. Castle being built for the Mayans player. It's got plumed archers coming out. I'm not sure if that's the right play. He's seen all the knights coming out for Chris. He can surely assume that there will be more knights coming. Second stable now out. There's also a second town centre up. I don't know if that's for both players. No, it's just for the yellow player. Spearmen just patrolling up and down this area. And on the side. Probably just exploring the map, to be honest. Perhaps using them as mobile outposts. Yeah, they'll lead to something quite nuts. Plumed Archer's coming forward, looking to do a little bit of a raid. Don't know how much damage they'll actually be able to do. Killing a villager. These knights come forward. Second town centre now being dropped. There's a hole in that wall. I don't think either player realises. Second villager dying for Chris. He will send his knights back though. There'll be a third villager, maybe even a fourth, perhaps a fifth. He's bringing that vill lead down, but I don't think it's enough. He's a little bit of a missed micro there. These knights will come in and should clean it up. He does have the option to run up this way, so I don't think they'll be cleaned up. They'll just be pushed away. Neither player really anywhere near going Imperial Age. These knights will just chase down these plumed archers, and they will probably eventually die. More plumed archers coming out though. Again, I'm not sure if plumed archer is the right approach. I think he definitely should opt for the pike eagle death ball, as so to speak, for the mines. This demo raft still sitting in that dock. Alright. Thanks for the follows, guys, by the way. I appreciate it. Plumes have been pushed all the way back to KiMOsaBE's base. Another castle being chucked up on the mangrove shallows. This tiger looks very aggressive. Looking to try and get in, but this blacksmith will just be repaired, so I don't think it'll go down. Plus with the plumed archers there, I think that just pushes the knights away. Two castles, military lead. Yeah. I do prefer Chris's position in this game. He is housed again though. But it wasn't for very long. Especially with that castle going up. Definitely wasn't for very long. I particularly like Chris's position here because housed like a true pro. That's exactly right. I definitely like Chris's position because he has control of the center gold though. Plumed archers coming around on the left hand side. They're looking to deal some damage to this side of Chris's eco. Monastery being chucked down on the front, probably just to get that relic. And maybe that one. Looks like KiMOsaBE may be saving a little bit for Castle Age. Oh, no, it's not Castle Age, Imperial Age. Chris is up to Imperial Age. Got some archers as well on the field. For KiMOsaBE, that is, but I'm pretty sure they would just die. Both players now up to Imperial Age. There's a lot of villagers dying. KiMOsaBE will be happy with that. I don't think that brings... Nah. It brings that eco advantage down a little bit, but those archers died as well. Imperial Age now in for Chris. He's fully walled. Oh, well, I say fully walled. He does kind of have this area under control, though. I don't know if that was pathing or if he wanted to try and hit this villager. Gets another villager pick for free. For it was just standing at their house. Trebuchets coming down on the front now, looking to chip away at this castle. Plumed archers still raiding and being chased around by these knights, but the knights are just faster. Also getting a little bit of chipping damage in. Two more trebuchets coming out. This castle will definitely go down. Cavalier also out now for Chris. Does he have... He's got the defensive upgrades, but he doesn't have the attack upgrades yet. Another castle being dropped for Sir Chris. I think Chris has control of this game. He's setting the pace. This tiger is still here. I don't think that bit of palisade goes down. I think if he has blast furnace, then that palisade does go down. Plumed archers just sitting in this castle over here. Meanwhile, this castle is about to go down. There it is. Knights can now just run in this side and flood into KiMOsaBE's base. Feel like a lot of villagers are probably going to die soon. Town centre being chucked up in the middle. More cavalier being produced and flooded out. For a second I thought that villager was trying to patch up that hole, but I didn't think he was actually going to. Barracks being chucked down by the blue player. And GG's called. There's too much military for KiMOsaBE to deal with. Series is tied 1-1. That was a good performance by Chris. Far better than what happened in the last game. Mostly because he won. We'll change the score though to show that it's 1-1. I actually had kind of a plan in Arabia and Golden Swamp. Arabia, everything went wrong and KiMOsaBE played very well. Yeah, no, that is fair. That's fair. Looking at the statistics, I would expect most of the gold stars to be in favour of Sir Chris. More wood collected for KiMOsaBE. And more map explored. That's thanks to those spearmen. Yeah, you can see it slowly, more gradually get in favour of of the yellow player as KiMOsaBE ended was losing population. He was getting some good raids in though, KiMOsaBE. Also, kind of sad that we didn't get to see the demo hit yet. Alright, let's chuck you to that screen. I'll get game 3 sorted. Cheers, Chris and Dave, for the follows, by the way. Alright, so I believe KiMOsaBE's home map was Steppe. Yes, it is. So that will be the third and final map of this best of 3 series. I'll change screens and we'll see if Azu is right, whether or not it's a Mongols war. It isn't. Hello and welcome to the third and final game of this best of 3 spoiler, never played Steppe yet. To this final game of this best of 3 series between KiMOsaBE and Sir Chris. Score is currently 1-1. So the player who wins this game wins the series and can start getting a nice bit of momentum going into the next round. In the yellow, we have the winner of the most previous game, Sir Chris. He'll be playing as the Chinese, and in the blue, in the bottom of the map, we have KiMOsaBE. He'll be playing as the Mongols. Now, I mentioned earlier that looking at chat rather to see whether or not it would be a Mongols war. No, it's not going to be. The reason we expect it to be a Mongols war is because Mongol hunters work 40% faster. The reason that's important is because there is a crap ton of hunt all around the center of the map. It is a little bit dangerous to too much hunt, yeah. Some would argue too much hunt. Plus, it also helps that the boars are relatively easy to find for each player on this map. That's why Chinese, because faster TC up, I thought, but only so far. Well, you'd think faster TC up, but they don't get their extra village until after the TC's built, which is something we'll look at. Chinese, we did see that earlier from KiMOsaBE on... No, did we? No, we didn't. Yeah, that's why you got 3 villages suddenly, yeah. So, Chinese start with 3 extra villages, but, however, on a nomad start, they don't get those extra villages until the town center is built. That was one of the big changes that happened in a couple patches ago, where they... And it kind of nerfed Chinese and Mayans in that fact, for that matter, when on maps like Nomad and Steppe, because it was kind of it was a little bit unbalanced to have their extra villages show up before the TC's up 3 patches ago, I think. Yeah, makes sense. Also looking at the rest of the civs, they get their technologies cost less as the game goes on for the Chinese. Demo ship's not important. This map doesn't have any water, which is kind of sad because it's demo division and we want that demo hit to come in, don't we? And their town centers support extra population. They get access to the Chuko Nu, which is the unique unit, which is a crossbowman that has a crossbow that fires like a machine gun. And they get buffed later on with extra attack if rocketry is researched. And they get extra food on their farms. It's widely considered as the, quote, best Arabia 1v1 civ, end quote. That's according to top players such as Hera. Looking at the Mongols, I mentioned the hunt earlier. They also get their bonus to their cavalry archers. Cavalry archers can actually be quite important on this map, as it is very open in the middle, and you can apply lots of pressure to your opponent from this side. Also, cavalry archer, at least in my experience, very strong against palisade walls. So, if there's any form of palisade walls, they'll probably just go down. Unique text nomads, their houses don't lose population. And drill, their siege workshop units move like NASCARs. Is the best way I can describe it. If that's researched, you'll see what I mean later, but I don't think it would be researched in this game. I have no idea. We might see it. Bonus is that their scout line have extra line of sight. Or another one of their bonuses, rather. I'm going to fast forward through the rest of Dark Age. See if we see a bit of a drush coming in. You can often see drushes on this map because of how open it is. If anyone drushes, I'd expect it to be the Chinese player because he wants to take the hunt away from the Mongol player. Nomads is the rarest research tech in the game. Yeah, you don't see that being researched too often, but it can be really helpful late game. Oh, so you didn't come from HD, you just came from AOC. Okay. There's a lot to learn then. Oh, who could that be? Alright, both players up to feudal now. Stable being chucked down by the Mongol player. It's the standard play for Mongols to go for scouts. I've clicked the wrong one again. He's also taking advantage of that hunt bonus. I don't know if that was the villagers getting stuck or just not being tasked, but they were idle for a little bit regardless. Chinese player also going for scouts. Mongol player electing to wall a lot on the front. He is already fully walled on the left side, so he's quite protected. Very safe gold as well. Two scouts coming forward looking to get some raiding in. Tower coming up on the back gold, the really exposed gold actually, of the yellow player. Scout engagement, back and forth. It's not really in Chris's best interest to take that fight though, seeing as he's lower on the numbers and now the HP. Would have placed it one tile. This one or this one. Two scouts going down for Chris. KiMOsaBE being able to run away with all three of his scouts, one of which is on 3 HP. There is a spearman out though to defend the berries. Two more scouts coming forward for the yellow player, probably looking to hit this, but KiMOsaBE will see that if he does end up hitting this. Villager going down on the front for the blue player. Chris also managing to get away with a scout on really low HP. Well, I don't think he should look to take that engagement. Maybe he's looking to just get rid of the really low HP scout, but I think he misclicked. Spearman coming in, looking to get a few pokes in. All these scouts actually now on quite low HP. It seems like Chris can't hit the right scout at the right time. They will go down though. Ends up being good for Chris in the end, but I think it cost him too many resources to do it in the first place. It's fine, it happens. Archery range being chucked up now for the Chinese player. Wall's coming further out. KiMOsaBE might look to wall out here later on, maybe. Just get a nice bit of control for his map. Do Chinese get extra vills in step start? After they build their TC, they do get their 3 extra villages, yes. But not before. Cheers for the follow, by the way, AoE. KiMOsaBE looking to take more of the hunt. I think we can expect to see quite a few blue mills being dotted around the show. KiMOsaBE hits Castle Edge. Second town centre immediately being chucked up by the blue player. Yeah, no, he is looking to wall out on this side. Chris electing not to wall again. We saw this in game 1. He's slowly getting his a wall off going, but it's not to the same extent as KiMOsaBE. Archers now being produced, probably looking to go for the crossbowman approach as Chinese. The nightmares not walling in game 1. Yes. You can see that hunt bonus coming into effect for KiMOsaBE. He's got so much food in the bank. Now I've noticed he isn't actually making any military. He is taking stone. He's dropped a 3rd town centre on that stone actually. He is probably looking to build a castle and go for the Mangudai approach, which is typically the unit of choice for Mongols. Fast imp, perhaps. Castle Edge coming in for Chris now. Quite a few archers actually. Bodkin are also coming in. See, if I was Chris, I would try to go forwards now and try to punch a hole in the wall. Maybe try to pressure a few of the resources from Chris. It does seem that is exactly what he's doing now. KiMOsaBE will see it though, as he's going to hit the scout, and probably, well, if he didn't kill the scout, he was going to run past it. Two rangers being chucked up by KiMOsaBE. I think a villager will go down for the blue player. But it's fine, he'll just move his wood eco to the back where it's really safe. I do prefer KiMOsaBE's position in this game. Not only does he have... Oh, there's a castle drop coming for Chris. Not only does he have the, in theory, better civ for the map because of the hunt, but he's... Just look how walled he is and how safe he is. I don't think he needs to worry about too much pressure coming in. Besides this castle, that could be an issue later on. Chris going forward with zero idea on what his opponent is doing. Yes. Who needs scouting information anyway? Second town centre up for the player in the Chinese. Oh, playing as the Chinese, rather. This castle will definitely go up. Applying a lot of pressure to this area of the blue player's eco. Been in a Chinese. This is quite cheeky. Could have taken this set of deer, but he's like, nope, I'm gonna take the deer right next to your base. Actually, has he even scouted that? I guess. Knights out on the field now for Chris. Scout also. Oh, I thought KiMOsaBE would wall out here. Maybe he didn't scout out that area. Oh, he did. Could have scouted it after he committed to the wall though. Defensive castle coming up for the blue player. I think it will go up even with the crossbows they're firing at it. Although if he brings more crossbows in, that's probably not going to happen. Skirmishers coming forward though. We'll push these crossbowmen away, and this castle will go up. Should probably start to see some Mangudai coming out. There is a hole in the blue player's walls now. Also 2 knights coming in, looking to deny that castle even further. It's almost a doubt castle, being plus 90%. I think we can consider that one a doubt castle, can't we? It's not quite a doubt castle because it will end up going up in the end. Siege Workshop also being chucked down on the front for the yellow player. Lots of skirmishers out on the field. And spearmen coming out now as well to deal with the knights. KiMOsaBE will just patch that wall up finally. Second castle being chucked up on defensively for KiMOsaBE. He is opting for the ram choice. Chris's, that is. This scout's now into the blue player's base. I'd say it's an okay engagement coming in from KiMOsaBE. We managed to kill 2 crossbows, but I think with the knight there, he could lose quite a few. Never mind, that knight will go down to the spearman. A little bit of miss micro. Another castle being dropped by Chris. Chris is playing this one really aggressive. These villagers now just going to a mining camp, not building anything too forward. He's building this mining camp, but he could be taken off it with the castle going up there. Does he even... He does see it. Oh, does the castle go up? Or does he end up losing the villagers? Oh, not another Dark Castle. Okay, now the castle will go up, but with 2 villagers building it instead of the 6 he had forward. KiMOsaBE with quite an economic advantage in terms of resources in the bank. He does also have the Vil lead. Magudai now out on the way for KiMOsaBE. 4 rams coming out now as well, but I think with the Mangudai coming out, these rams won't be very effective at all. For those who don't know, Mangudai have deal bonus damage against siege units. KiMOsaBE opting to repair that castle with 0 stone. Here we go, and these rams will go down. Knights coming in to help defend the rams. But I think, yeah, no. Too much damage being dealt to the knights for them to be effective at all. All of these rams will now go down, and KiMOsaBE will start to feel a little bit more safe. And the siege workshop going down on the front for Chris. Another town center being dropped by Chris. That's 4 now. It's 4 to 3 town centers. Chris has brought the Vil count back more evenly. Also dropping university. Magudai coming out now. We'll kill both of these villagers. Or will they? Just passing? No. Oh, they no-scoped. Did you see that? They were doing some over-the-shoulder shot. Mangudai killing all the skirms that came out from the yellow player. Both players up to Imperial Age. Chris will get there first. Rams also looking... Chuko Nu. I didn't see that being produced. These rams should go down then with the Chuko Nu there. Oh, but the Mangudai coming in to kill the Chuko Nu. I don't think the rams will go down anymore. I do think this castle will eventually go down then with the rams there. And then he should start to focus on this one. I love the Chuko Nu. So much fun to play with. Such a good unit as well. Real high damage archer unit. Is currently doing Bracer. So he will have fully upgraded. Are they fully upgraded? No, not yet. There's one more technology to go. Does Chris have thumb ring? That is a good question. I will check. Chris does have thumb ring. That knight going down. These skirmishers coming forward. It doesn't have ballistics, by the looks of it. To be fair, he's doing good enough damage with the numbers he had, but it wasn't enough to like kill a significant amount. He killed 2. Kills are kills. 2 castles being dropped in the middle of the map for the yellow player. Trebuchet's also coming out. This villager will go down. Chris sees that and immediately garrisons. 2 attacks happening at the same time. I don't quite know where to look. I think these Mangudai will run back to help defend. Chris pushing into KiMOsaBE's base. Look how even the score is at this point in the game. And the resources. Both players have a lot of resources in the bank. They really should be spending them. Light Cav now coming out. Those 3 villages that were out here collecting these deer, building 4 stables, we will see Light Cav raiding then, I think. And that could end up being... Oh, that'll do so much damage, assuming that the Light Cav come into Chris's base. Oh, is this castle being denied? Yes, it is. Now, some players, they will just send more villagers forward to try and punch up that castle. I don't think we'll see that. I think that is too much risk to do that. Most of these Mangudai are going down, though. He's killed a lot with those skirmishes that he has. I think with the military being of the blue player being pushed back, maybe we will see some more villagers coming forward to chuck up that castle, but I still don't think so. I don't see any villagers coming forward, so I think he's just going to leave that there and then delete if necessary. I think it's a bit of a mistake to send these trebuchets forward, especially with the Mangudais. He needed to save them until he had a few more skirms and Chukonu, so he could defend them. He will start chipping away at this castle, but I do think the trebuchets will go down before the castle goes down. Another castle being chucked up for the blue player. More stables being chucked up in response by the yellow player after seeing the light cav. Villagers coming forward now to finish this castle. Now I want to know if he sees that. He does see this stable over here. Hassan now out on the field for the blue player. They're not fully upgraded though. Yellow player does have the better upgrades as it currently stands. This castle will eventually go up, and there it is. Resources in favor of the blue player at the moment. Should really be spending them. Another good engagement for the blue player, managing to take down another trebuchet with the Mangudai. That is really what he wants to be doing. Camels coming out now for Chris. And they've been upgraded to heavy camel as well, so that's how he's looking to counter the Hussar coming out. Although I do think his gold's running out. Yeah, I think this is the only gold he has left. So he's got to be careful. There is extra golds out around in the forests. Another castle being dropped by Chris. This is such an even game. Knights coming out for the Mongol player. Both players are just trying to chuck everything they possibly can into this game to find an advantage. Another castle being dropped by the Chinese player. I think the number of castles being built in this game is nuts. You don't see this many castles that often. Oh, does this castle actually go up? It should. He will lose a few villages, but I do think the castle will go up. Look how fast those Mangudai shoot. That's nuts. Oh, is it a doubt castle? It is. There's another doubt castle in this game. This is so much fun to watch, not gonna lie. This is such a good game. More villagers coming forward to finish that castle. It will eventually go up. The cavalry units of both players now fully upgraded. Siege workshop being chucked up in the back by Chris. Chris looking to do some raiding, which is probably the right decision at this point in the game. Trying to get some eco damage in, making sure that his opponent can't produce any more units. He is going to this gold, so he will be able to keep up the camel and Chukonu question mark numbers up. I don't think he's making any more Chukonu. I think he's focusing his gold into the camels to deal with Hussar. Two rams coming in now, but with these three Mangudai there, I think they will go down. Actually, there is a third ram coming in as well. Waiting for the next big engagement. Here it comes. Light Cav coming to push these skirmishes while these... there's Chukonu behind them. That's why they're moving so slowly. I think these Hussar will go down to the camels, though. It wasn't the best fight for the blue player to take. More raiding coming in from the yellow player. This castle will eventually go down. Now there's two more trebuchets being built by the yellow player, so I think they'll trade castles. Oh, they don't trade castles. KiMOsaBE managing to kill both of these trebuchets. And he's repairing this castle to give it a little bit more HP. This is such a good game. Defensive castle being dropped in KiMOsaBE's base. Do have another trebuchet out on the field for the yellow player. Another engagement coming in. More Hussar coming in now to pressure the military of the yellow player. Trebuchets trying to chip away at this castle. This castle will probably go down as well. Chukonu being produced at the same time for the yellow player. There is still some raiding happening, but that's not doing much. Chuko now entering the fight. Siege Workshop being dropped. Where are the dual rams? That's a good point. There could be... Capped ram is on the way. So he's looking to tech into siege rams, and that might be the way he pushes. Is that the win condition though? Is ram really the win condition? It could be. I think it's a smart idea. Chris now producing pikemen, looking to do anything he can to deal with the massed cavalry. This area of the map has just been covered in blood and death. What do you I think if Chris can manage to persist with raiding with light cavalry and can kill enough villages, or at least idle KiMOsaBE's economy, he can get that economic advantage to keep producing himself, and then eventually outproduce. I think that would be the Chinese win condition in this situation. That and more using the trebuchets a little bit more wisely. Another little engagement happening here. I heard a relic being collected. Chris, obviously looking to get a little bit more of an eco advantage. He's taking this gold as well, which I think is important. bets on /over/under 1,000 kills per player by the end of this game. It is heading that way. We're halfway there, almost, for one of the players. At the moment, I do think I prefer the Mangudai Hussar composition. Although there is Halberdier now coming out, so... this is such an even game. It's so hard to call, eh? A castle exchange happening on the left side, while the main battle keeps raging on. Hussar raid happening in the north of the map. See, this is what I talked about earlier, but for Chris doing it. Chris also trying... Chris losing a castle on the front, rather. Also managing to push the army in the middle of the map. I think this is slowly going in the favor of KiMOsaBE. 590, almost 600 kills for KiMOsaBE. This castle also goes down for the blue player. These Hussar being dealt with. A stone wall coming out on this side, trying to protect these villagers coming forward as well. Is this going to be a castle drop? It is. There's a castle drop coming on one of the wood lines. This late in the game as well. There's drill ram, I think. Yeah, it is. These Halberdier doing quite good damage to the Hussar, but they're being picked off by the Magadai. These Halberdier trying to defend here. More Hussar coming into the eco of the yellow player. It's really good raiding coming out, actually. He's also slowly getting control of the middle. This castle did go up, but I think we all expected that one to happen. More light cav coming in to raid the blue economy. These rams are so fast. I always find it very comedic how fast drill ram is. I am slowly more so favouring Blue's position as the game goes on, though. He's been able to do quite a bit of damage to the Chinese economy. He's also managing to kill this ram defense from Chris. KiMOsaBE now trying to pressure this town center. More raiding coming in the back. Halberdier coming in though to try and help defend. Halberdier on the front also. Halberdier and Skirm is the only thing Chris is actually making at this point. I don't think and he's making some light cav. I don't think no, he does. He's got more than enough resources to keep up with the production. I think this just comes down to unit composition now, because I know gold hasn't even run out. I think that if Chris chucked up a few stables, he would be able to make the camel numbers needed to push this back a little bit. Although he doesn't really have much food because he's being raided. I don't like how this is in a different order to what's up here, because I keep reading the numbers as wood, food, gold, stone as it is up here, because that's what I'm used to. $817 kills for KiMOsaBE. I think, yeah, 189 to 134 population at this stage of the game. I think this is now KiMOsaBE's game to lose, pretty much. Does have a few stables down here, but yeah, no, but he doesn't have the food. In post-imp, Chinese have so little chance against Mongols. Yeah, I agree. KiMOsaBE now getting some relics of his own to try and get some gold income. I think these rams will go down. A couple stables on the left for Chris. Rams coming up here to deal with the main source, what I can tell is the main source of production for the yellow player. This is such a good game. Slowly but surely heading towards that 1,000 kill mark. GG is called by Chris. That was such a good game. Well played by both players. Unfortunately for Chris, he doesn't come out on top in the end. The game and series heads the way of KiMOsaBE, winning 2-1. I do think that this forward over here did really help with that, even though it was mostly dealt with. I do also think that Chris needed to raid a little bit earlier. That could have helped swing things a little bit further into his favor. But as Superman said in chat, in post-imp, Chinese have very little chance against Mongols. As the game goes on further and further, Mongols do get more of an advantage. Didn't quite get the 1,000 kill game. That was a really good series. Really, really, really good series. Very happy I chose to cast that one. $939 to $510. That's not something you see all the time. Mostly, Eco was in favor of the yellow player. But stone and gold, not by much, actually. I think actually the main resource that it came down to in this game was the food, actually. "13 castles in total being built across this game. That is not something you see every day either.